Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story: workplace lies about hours and refuses to pay me, begs me to stay, promises me they'll do all these things and then immediately forget they ever offered. I quit. The second story: funny HOA-style drama and the humiliated wife of a board member. The third story: the boss lied about raising my salary. I quit my job and found a much better place, increasing my salary several times over. The first story is: this is a story about how my trainer ruined everything. A while ago, I started putting my resume up on multiple websites in the effort to find a summer job back home. I was in college and was going to be heading back in about 4 months, so I wasn't looking for a career. I was also enrolled in 15 credits, which meant I didn't have time to work 8 hours a day once classes began again. I got a few responses on the resume sites. I applied for a few positions and heard back from even fewer, but my first week back I managed to book myself for interviews. One of these interviews had an interesting lead up to it. See, they're one of the companies that sends out huge nets and calls random numbers listed on these sites to book for interviews. I was called 4 times by these people. The first was a lady who left me a vague voicemail. "This is unintelligible from the HR department. We saw your resume on." The second was a lady I scheduled an interview with, and the third and fourth try to schedule me until I tell them I've already accepted an interview offer. I learned later that they follow a script. I learned later that they pay people in a call center based on how many people they recruit that actually show up and get hired. They are given sheets with name, number, resume, site, and email. That's it. Those are red flags 1, 2, and 3 for those counting. I put on a professional outfit to meet the state director who's only here 2 days, who's actually there all days, and drive out to the office. There are paper signs on the window saying interviews next door, and blank blank interviews second floor, which I follow dutifully. I'm broke. I need the money. I go to my interview. I find the receptionist and take a clipboard, do paperwork, etc., etc. I wait in a room full of people. I do a quick 5-minute interview and then get called back with the whole gaggle of interviewees for a group interview. "Welcome to blank blank. I'm a millionaire with a fancy car. We're glad you chose us. Here's an hour of company history. Complete this personality alignment thing. We'll give you a call back later today and talk to you more. Thanks, bye." I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot who got a call back to come in for the final interview. I'm asked if I have my wallet to pay for the training course and fingerprints. I'm an idiot who has less money now. How many red flags are we up to at this point? Anyway, I am hired. I complete my training course and pass my licensing exam. I get fingerprints taken. I memorize an 8-page script and am enrolled in their in-house boot camp, which I was reassured was paid. Lies. It takes me a while to get my agent number. My trainer, who is the woman who interviewed me, then states that an underling of hers will train me. She's free because 2 people have already quit. This underling, who I will name Susan, has already had 1 trainee under her quit. She demanded he give a full presentation, his first day instead of just observing, and then told him to get a new phone, since part of the job is in a call center and his plan was minutes-based. Either way, he's gone. My turn. My first day in the field, watching Susan do presentations is uneventful. The second day is where it gets interesting. I still don't have an agent number even though my license has been approved at this point, so all the sales Susan makes go in her name. She gets over $600. I get nothing. She then asks me to work Sunday. She knows I have 0 chance of getting paid for it. I refuse. I contact my boss and my boss's boss, the state director who is always there, about the $600, and they say contact Susan about it. I do. She tells me I'm sorry, it really sucks that they can't pay you. Also, I can't write you a check because I don't have a bank. Also, I already spent it, huh? Due to how we get paid, this is a lie. At that point, she didn't have it yet. I return to my boss and boss's boss, and they essentially sit there and tell me they can't do anything about it, and try to scare me away from pursuing it. By this point, I'm working 12-hour days when I was told 8, attending mandatory meetings as a 1099, and getting no salary, and no commission because Susan took the sales, and no money. I'm losing money driving around, and once had to drive almost 2 hours one way to go meet Susan, as she was doing a presentation. Usually she drives, but she drives with her knees as she texts, types on her laptop, and files for paperwork in the dashboard and on the back seat. She spends her time straddling the lanes doing 80 miles per hour. She also smokes in the car with me in it. I'm a non-smoker and find smoking on your guests impolite. She spends her entire drive complaining about other clients for being too fat or acting weird, and doesn't do half of what she's supposed to, instead texting angrily at her ex. This job starts to smell rotten. I make a sale on my birthday and earn about $650. She asks me what my bonus is because she gets paid on my bonus too. The day after that, she spends complaining with me in the car and everything. Great. No sales, no money. I discover I won't get my $650 until the next Monday. Not the immediate Monday next week, the one after. Great. Next week, I make no sales Tuesday. I make an almost sale, but they need to wait on the charges to avoid overdrafting their bank, and so they want me to come back later. This is Susan's territory. She'll come back later and get the money. I'm miffed and I tell her I won't make a dime out of this. She tells me to calm down. Pardon? Wednesday, she makes a huge sale, netting her at least $1,000, and I get nothing. She sits in the corner texting angrily as I try to present, and then she takes the difficult sales. She and I are the top producers for the week. Yay! She makes over $2,000 and I make nothing. I tell Susan I want to quit. She offers to transfer $400 worth of sales, not money, sales, into my name, so I can meet the weekly quota. I am not at all convinced. She calls my boss, the woman who interviewed me and whom I liked, and said boss sales pitches me into staying, saying they can all do this stuff for me and let's talk to the state director, whatever. I can't get her off the phone without saying yes, so I say yes. I pass boot camp. I ask Susan to help me make calls, but she tells me, I could help you, but I won't. Keep in mind I call cold leads for her from 2 to 8:30 Tuesday and Thursday. She makes one appointment that doesn't fit with the rest of my schedule, so I leave early that day only to be stood up by them and sit in a parking lot for 2 hours. I finish my day meeting up with my boss and I make a sale. After calculations, my paycheck for that week should be about $200 for 60 to 70 hours of work. The $400 is nowhere to be seen. I walk in, grab my singular paycheck for 6 weeks of work, and am told that I likely won't get the other $200 sum for the other sale I made if someone has to go and get more info on it. I essentially worked for free for them for 5 entire weeks. I barely broke even with the check I got. I left and never looked back. The second story is President's Day HOA Drama. Today was quite the drama event on my neighborhood's Facebook page. For context, I should say that the HOA isn't super picky. I haven't gotten any notices, but the dues seem a little high considering all we have is a playground park with a basketball court, and some walking trails. I should also mention it's a politically conservative area, which will come into context later. For the drama, it's best to start from the beginning. So a couple of months ago at an HOA meeting, the HOA announced they had started looking for quotes regarding American flag placements at the front of the community. At first thought, that doesn't sound so bad. Maybe 4 to 5 flags for all the entrances. It would look nice. Oh boy, was I wrong. Turns out the actual quote was for 80 to 90 flags at $2,800 to $3,200 for placement 7 days of the year. This was called into question in the community Facebook page where people questioned the need for 80 to 90 flags with such a high price at $3,000, especially considering it was for holidays. So did the HOA, as a lovely democracy, allow a vote on the number of flags? Nope, it wasn't even up for discussion. They voted yes. So come to today where the flags are put up for President's Day. There's literally 80 to 90 flags put up at the entrance to the community, and you guessed it, it looks bad. It's extremely excessive and looks ridiculous. Here's the thing, I don't even mind American flags at the front. Having like 20 flags nicely placed for President's Day is fine, but near 100 is just too many. Hell, it would have made more sense to go all out on July 4th. It looks like a presidential parade. Except this is not July 4th, and Joe Biden is not visiting my neighborhood. It's President's Day, a day more celebrated by car dealerships and mattress firms than the average citizen. Now here comes the juicy part. Someone made a post saying they love the flags. However, some people started to post their opinions regarding the number of flags and how it looks excessive, and that's how the drama started. Within the hour, people were arguing about the flags. As I mentioned before, it's a conservative area, so anyone having a different opinion regarding the American flag made them go on the defensive. As copied directly from someone, well, I thought it looked great. God forbid we show some patriotism. Someone will always be. Even some coming to the HOA's defense. Just a thought here, I don't understand why the HOA members and their decisions get so much hate sometimes. I think we could be a bit kinder, understanding and appreciative of the work they do. I promise you they don't sit in a room all by themselves trying to think up ways to upset people. If you have an idea, opinion, or question, bring it to a meeting and give them the chance to hear it. I thought the flags were cool. Pro-flags started to call the comments disrespectful, which was a surprise considering every comment I had read was respectful. One such example is, "I love this country and I am grateful and appreciative of all who serve." 4 flags at each entrance would be appropriate. 80+ flags is excessive and fiscally irresponsible. But the biggest fight of the night was between a woman and the wife of an HOA board member. The wife commented saying that just a reminder that you chose to live here, and if you don't like the HOA and their decisions, you can move out of this community. Boldly, the other woman responded to her rudeness, saying that people deserve a say in their community. The wife doubled down. This continued until the real juicy slaps started hitting. Now, in perhaps a big brain move, the woman looked at the husband's, who's an HOA board member, Facebook profile and screenshotted all his anti-Joe Biden posts. Then posting them and then responding to the woman, say, "If you and your husband don't like Joe Biden and the decision he makes, you can leave the country." To which the wife got angry and started hurling insults, calling the other woman a bully, causing a chain of back and forth comments, where the wife of the board member was constantly trying to make herself look like the victim despite being the one that was disrespectful to people. Eventually, the wife stopped responding, but she did get called out hard. The post was then locked in order to cease hostilities. All I can say is that I had the time of my life enjoying this drama, so hopefully you liked hearing it too. And the last story is, boss promised performance-based pay, made up numbers for 5 years, quit and went from $30K a year to $150K a year. Started this job at a brick-and-mortar store. Me and my brother both went in to try helping the new owner modernize and start an e-commerce branch. The owner had some big talk about sweat equity and performance-based pay, blowing smoke up our A. I'm a self-taught programmer since about 16. At the time I was working this job, I had a lot of issues with trauma I was trying to deal with. Still do, but it's better now. About 2 years in, things started picking up. Hard work was paying off. My brother was doing a great job. There is slight pay raises, more for my brother than me, who's doing more marketing and operational management type work. I get a super tiny raise, but I get that what I do is a lot more invisible, and I let the owner know, "Hey, I get that we're just starting to be profitable now, but you do realize I'm a programmer getting paid $15 an hour, right? I want to make this work and help this business grow, but I just need to know that you understand how low that is." He says, of course. When the business gets more profitable, we'll give you a raise to what you deserve." Cut to 3 years later. I'm working in a windowless basement with no ventilation in an SH warehouse for $16 an hour, no health insurance, no vacation time. I find that our boss has been pulling profitability numbers for our department out of his A this whole time. He's been manipulating me and my brother to just keep us on the treadmill for as little money as possible for years. I'll admit that near the end I could have worked harder, been more diligent than I should have, honestly. But what am I supposed to do when after years of trying to improve SH and trying to raise the issue of pay, nothing happens? Keep being a good little drone? What I should have done is quit earlier than I did, but at least I did eventually. I spent about 6 months practicing skills more in the area I wanted to work in, cleaning up my resume and applying for jobs, with much help from my then girlfriend, and got hired for a crazy good-paying remote job with actual health insurance and generous PTO. When I got the offer, I was honestly worried it was a scam or something. Now they're calling me trying to get all the SH I was holding together working again for no money as a favor. Right. All those wonderful memories of being treated like SH and gaslighted really make me miss what I had. Anyway, I just thought some people might need to hear this. Really think about it. Are you being paid what you're worth? Is your company just jerking you around? I know staying at the same job can be comfortable, but think about how much more comfortable you'd be at a job that actually takes care of you and doesn't treat you like SH. Think about it as if you were a friend of yours and they were asking if they should stick with their job. Hit the like button to support the channel and subscribe. Have a good day.